Sahana Bhavatu Sahanau Bhunaktu Saha Viryam Karavavahai Tejasvinavadhitamastu ma vidvishavahai. Om Shanti Shanti Shanti. So first we will chant the first and the last verse of the Dhyana Shlokas. Okay? Parthaya pratibodhitam bhagavata narayanena swayam vyasena grathitam purana munina madhye mahabharatam advaitamritavarshinim bhagavatim ashtadashadhyayinim amba tvamanusandadhami bhagavad-gite bhavadveshinim यं ब्रह्मा वरुणेन्द्र रुद्रमरुतः स्तुन्वन्ति दिव्यैस्तवैः वेदैः साङ्गपदक्रमोपनिषदैः गायन्ति यं सामगाः ध्यानावस्थिततद्गतेन मनसा पश्यन्ति यं योगिनः यस्यान्तं न विदुःसुरासुरगणाः देवाय तस्मै नमः. So children, we had a very nice introduction to the 7th chapter. That is day before yesterday, isn't it? On Tuesday. And what did we learn on Tuesday about what Lord Krishna talks about in the 7th chapter? So I told you in detail about what is a product, what is an effect, and ultimately if there is a product, then there should be a cause, isn't it? So now, what did we see in the, for the first day, that is on Tuesday when we started the 7th chapter? What we saw was, that Lord Krishna said, hey Arjuna, look, when you see the whole world outside, what are you really seeing? He said, you are seeing me. Whatever work you do in this world with anybody else, what is it with which you are actually doing any kind of a transaction, any kind of work that you're doing with anybody else in the world? You're talking to somebody, you're seeing somebody, you are giving something to somebody, accepting something from somebody. All this is happening where Lord Krishna said, look, if you see there's something like this whole world like this, there must be a cause for it, isn't it? I gave you the example of what? This chain. I gave you the example of this chain. What did I say? I said that this chain is a product. It is an effect. So there must be a cause for this chain. Correct? And what did we discuss that day? I said there are two types of causes. Correct? To do anything, to make anything happen, there should be two causes. There should be one material. Correct? There should be the basic material from which this something is made. I gave you the example of what? The steel glass. I gave you the example, no? This glass is a product, correct? What is it made of? It is made up of stainless steel, correct? So the stainless steel is the material cause of this glass. Then in the factory somewhere where this glass was manufactured, there was somebody who knew how to manufacture this, give this shape of a glass to this stainless steel, correct? So he is called as what? He is called as the intelligent cause. I told you that, isn't it? We discussed that. There is a material and there is a maker. There is a material with which something is made and a maker who makes a product out of a material. Correct? So we gave examples of so many things. This chain is what? It's a product. It is made up of what? What is the material? It is made up of gold. Who is the maker of this chain? Goldsmith is the maker of the chain. Correct? So there should be a material and a maker. But what did Bhagwan say? Bhagwan said that I am the only one that is there in this whole universe. I am the only truth. Therefore, what is this whole world made up of? Who is the maker and who is the material? What is the material with which this whole world is made? I told you that Bhagwan Krishna talked about, what did he say? He said that I am myself the material as well as the maker of this universe. Okay, and I the material and I the maker, we are not different from each other. We are one and the same. I am a inseparable material and maker of this entire universe. We said that last time. We talked about it, isn't it? And then you also asked me, how is it possible? How can the material be the maker? How can the maker be the material? Now, let us take, for example, this chain itself. Supposing the material that this chain is made of is gold, then the maker cannot be gold, isn't it? The maker cannot change himself or convert himself to the chain, right? Can the maker make himself change into the chain? No. The maker is different, the material is different when you see the everything in the world. But what Bhagavan says here in the 7th chapter, he says, look, I am the material also, I am the maker also of whatever is there. And the maker and the material me, we are not different from each other. Okay. And I introduced two words to you, which Lord Krishna said. What are those two words? He said that material from which I, the maker, make this whole universe is called as apara prakriti. That is the name given because we have to use these names. If you don't remember, don't worry. Okay, that is what Lord Krishna said. Then what did he say? The maker, I, the maker of this universe, using this material. What is me? What is that name given? It is called as para prakriti. So Lord Krishna, what did he say? I am the para prakriti, apara prakriti. That means what? I am the maker and the material with which this entire world is made. So where do you see me? Where can you find me? Where can you find me? Me means who? Lord Krishna is asking Arjuna. Where can you find me? You can find me everywhere, wherever you see. Now, if you ask me, if I ask you, sir, when I'm touching this chain, what am I touching? I'm touching the gold, correct? Here also I'm touching the chain, I'm touching the gold, correct? Wherever I touch the chain, I'm touching gold only. So, if God is the material and the maker of this whole world, then where is God? Wherever there is anything that I see, there is God. Whenever I look at anything in the world, I am looking at God. God means what? Bhagwan here. Lord Krishna is saying, you will be looking at me. You will be speaking to me. You will be talking to me. You will be listening to me because I am there everywhere in this world. Okay, this is what Lord Krishna told Arjuna. Now you also asked me, is it possible, is there an example like this where there is one material and maker of this whole world? We gave an example, isn't it? I gave an example of a spider. Do you remember? I gave you an example of spider, isn't it? Sharat, you remember? I gave you the example of a spider, correct? What does a spider do? It makes a web. It creates a web. Correct, Gandharva? It makes a web, creates a web. How does it create a web? Where does the material come from? The material comes from its own stomach. Like we have the example of a spider. One small spider can do this. It can be the material also of the web. It can be the maker also of the web. Then why not Bhagwan do the whole world as his product? Why can't? Isn't it? We already talked about who is Bhagwan. Bhagwan has all the strength. Bhagwan has all the capacity. Bhagwan can do anything. Therefore, Bhagwan can create, make everything in this world the way it is. How does he make it? He is the material also. He is the maker also. Therefore, what did we see here on the first day? We said that Bhagwan is introducing himself as what? As the material and the maker with which the whole universe is made. And the material is called what? apara prakriti. And what is the maker, Ishvara or God, called? Para prakriti. Are you understanding? You are understanding what I'm saying, isn't it? So now, if we have to see Bhagwan, how do we see him? So what did Lord Krishna say? Lord Krishna said that, see, whatever you want to experience in this world, I am that. You don't try to look for me here and there. You know, whatever you see, I am that. And he gave what? 2 or 3 examples. So now we'll go to the 7th verse of the 7th chapter, where Bhagwan says, there is nothing else other than me in this world. Nothing else other than me. Whatever is there, I am the material with which the whole world is made. I am the maker. Correct? Like if you see this chain, there is nothing other than gold here. The whole chain is gold. Similarly, the whole world is nothing but God. That's what Bhagavan says to Arjuna. And then he said that in this verse. How did he express that? I will now read this verse. See that. mattaḥ parataram nānyat kiñchid asti dhanañjaya mayi sarvam protaṁ sūtre maṇi-gaṇā iva. So what is the meaning of this? He says, other than me, there is nothing else in this world. The whole world is nothing other than me. Whatever you see is me. Wherever you go, it is me. There is not a single smallest iota of place without me. I am there everywhere. Wherever you see, you are only seeing me. So, other than me, there is nothing else. And he gives an example here. What is the example he is giving here? Sūtre maṇi-gaṇā iva. What is the meaning of this? He says, supposing you have a long chain of many beads of different colors, different sizes, different shapes. Okay, there are lot of beads, say hundreds of beads are there, and there's a long chain made up of these beads. Okay, supposing you have that kind of a necklace with beads, what is it that connects all the beads? What does it, what is it? A thread is there, correct? Some thread is there. Either it is a thread made of gold or a thread made up of plastic or thread made up of some material. But then all the beads are connected with what? They are connected with a thread, correct? So the beads are many, the thread is one. The beads are many, but there is one thread which connects all the beads, correct? What Bhagwan says is that everything in this world is like different what? Beads. Okay, you see a human being, you see an animal, you see the plants, you see everything. Whatever you see in this world, they are like individual beads, different beads. And who am I, Arjuna? I am the one who's connecting all these beads together. I am like the thread. Sūtre maṇi-gaṇā iva. Okay, who am I? I am like the thread which connects all the beads together. Correct? Why is Krishna talking about that thread and the beads? Supposing you have many beads tightly fitting together. Can you see the can you see the thread? Can you see the thread inside? You can't. You see only the beads, correct? The thread which is going through all the beads, you cannot see. Isn't it? Is it visible? No. Supposing you have a necklace with beads. They are so closely put together, woven together. Then do you see the thread? You don't see the thread. What do you see? You see only the beads. But the beads are existing because of what? Because of the thread which is connecting all the beads together. Therefore, Lord Krishna says, see Arjuna, you can easily see everything in the Jagat, in the world, but you can't see me. Why you can't see me? Because like the thread which is passing through all the beads, I am also there behind everything in this world. Therefore, what you see is only the world. You are not seeing me. The thread in a necklace is not seen. Only the beads are seen. Similarly, the whole world is available to you to see, to touch, to feel. But then this thread, which is connecting all the beads together, is not available for seeing. Okay? Therefore, Arjuna, don't think that the thread is not there. In a necklace of different beads, what is connecting every bead? It is the thread which is passing through all the beads. If the thread is passing through all the beads, then you may not see the thread, but then the beads are seen. If the beads break, if one of the beads comes out, what remains? The thread remains. Correct? The thread remains constantly, isn't it? Correct? The thread remains. One, maybe the beads have gone, they may break, but the thread doesn't break, it remains. Similarly, he says that the whole world is like different beads in a necklace, and I am the thread behind that. And Krishna says the whole world is woven into me like a fabric. You have seen, see, supposing your shirt, your cloth you're having. What is your cloth? It is made up of threads, correct? It is made up of threads, correct? There is a long thread, there is a short thread. You have seen the magga, kai magga, you know how that is woven. You have seen how a cloth is woven. You know that, no? There is that, you know, that particular magga, kai magga, that is what we call it. And then there are already those long threads are there. And by doing like this, like this, like this, what is that cloth maker doing? He is weaving the cross threads into the long threads. That means what? All your fabric is nothing but a woven mixture of long thread and cross threads. So what is Krishna saying here? Hey Arjuna, I am the whole world is woven into me. I am like the threads of a cloth. The whole world is like the cloth. But who am I? I am like the threads of a cloth. So, mayi sarvam idaṁ protaṁ. He says, the whole world that you see outside, I am the very thread. I am that connection which connects everything in the world, one with the other. Because everything is connected, no? In this whole world, everything is connected. Nothing is independent. We feel that I am different, you are different, but everything is connected. And this thread is the one which is connecting everything in this world. There is one thread called God which connects all of us. Like that. Fabric means what? Cloth. How a cloth is woven around the threads, the whole world is woven around me. That is what Lord Krishna said. And then to make it more clear to Arjuna, what did he say? He says, look, Arjuna, when you drink water, you know that taste of the water you get, no? That is, you understand that to be me. So he says in the next verse, raso ऽहमप kaunteya prabhāsmi śhaśhi-sūryayoḥ praṇavaḥ sarva-vedeṣhu śhabdaḥ pauruṣhaṁ nṛiṣhu. So hey Arjuna, understand that when you're drinking water, the taste of that water, there is some natural taste, no, to the water, correct? However much cold drinks you may drink in summer, but then after that you want to drink water, correct? No liquid, no milk or buttermilk or your Coke or Pepsi, nothing can really take care of your thirst. What ultimately takes care of your thirst? Water. So after eating everything, drinking everything, you want to drink water. Only that will satisfy or quench your thirst. Correct? So when we drink water, we say water is tasteless. Correct? We say water is tasteless. But then the water also that we drink has some unique kind of something, isn't it? It's unique kind of a taste it is, because no other liquid has the taste of water. That satisfaction I get, That taste of water which I get when I drink water, hey Arjuna, understand that whenever you are drinking water, that taste in that water, that capacity of the water to satisfy your thirst, understand that to be my glory. Understand that to be my power. That is how I am there. Because of me, the water that you drink has that particular taste. Prabhāsmi śhaśhi-sūryayoḥ, he says. What is the meaning of that? That light which you see in the sun and moon, that is my light. The light does not belong to sun. The moonlight does not belong to moon. The light in the sun, the light in the moon, the light in the stars, the light and heat in the fire, everything is my light. That light belongs to me. The taste in water belongs to me. The light in all these, in these luminaries, bright objects, that also belongs to me. Then he says, praṇavaḥ sarva-vedeṣhu. Who am I? You have heard of Om? Have you heard? When you start anything, you start with what? Om you start with. Correct? Huh? So whenever you chant anything, you start with what? Om you start. Correct? What is this Om? It is said that it is a sacred and a divine syllable. It is a divine and sacred symbol which is taken out of our Vedas. Okay, our Vedas can be condensed into one word. God says that is Om. When you say Om, that means I am thinking of all the Vedas. So Om is that symbol, that sound symbol, which I say Om. That means that represents all the Vedas. So what Krishna says is that Om sound, Omkara we call it. Many of you have names, no? Omkar is one of the, I didn't see anybody with that name in this group, but I'm sure there must be somebody by that name Omkar in your classmates, correct? So this Om or Omkar, which is nothing but a representative of our scriptures. Krishna says, I am that. I am that Omkara in the scriptures. Then he says, śhabdaḥ ke, that sound which is transmitted in space, that is me. What does sound require? Sound requires space, correct? To be transmitted from one place to the other, correct? So what he's saying is that quality of space which can transmit or take the sound from one place to another, that sound is me. And he says, pauruṣhaṁ nṛiṣhu. Nṛiṣhu means Nara, all of us. In all of us human beings, we have some kind of a capacity to do something, isn't it? Pauruṣhaṁ means what? The capacity, right? Some of you have the capacity to play very good football. That is your pauruṣhaṁ, correct? One or two of you may be very good cricketers. That is your pauruṣhaṁ. Another person, a few of you may be very intelligent and doing very well in your exams and getting good. That is your pauruṣhaṁ. And somebody told me that they are very good actors and they act in all school plays. That is also the capacity. So each one of us have different capacities in different fields, correct? Where does it come from? It comes from Bhagavan. So he says, if there is any specific capacity to do anything, anything special that one can do, okay, if Virat Kohli is playing very good cricket, that pauruṣhaṁ, the capacity to play comes from where? It comes from Bhagwan, okay, from God. So he says that whatever really you see as important in anything in this world is me. It is coming from me. So the taste in water is me, coming from me. And all the light in the sun and the moon and the stars and lightning and in fire principle, everything that light is my light. It belongs to me. It doesn't belong to any of them. And I am the sacred Omkara in all the Vedas. And then in the next verse, he says, in the 9th verse of the 7th chapter, he says, puṇyo gandhaḥ prithivyancha tejaschasmi vibhavaso jivanam sarva-bhūteṣhu tapaschasmi tapasvishu. So, what he means is here, hey Arjuna, have you ever smelt the earth? Now, rainy days, don't we? When the rain falls, suddenly we get a very nice smell. Mannindu smell bartala, alva? You get that smell of the earth, correct? And Krishna says that smell of the earth, which is a divine smell, it's a wonderful smell, no? No perfume can give smell like that earthy smell when it rains. So what does Krishna say? Krishna says that I am that sacred smell which is emitted by earth. Then he says, Tejas Jasmi Vibhavaso. Fire we see. We see brilliance in fire, correct? When we see fire, what do we see? Light we see in the fire. But there is something else there in fire. What is it? That brilliance, shine, isn't it? That yellow fire lights, it shines. You should not think of the gas this one. It is blue light and it doesn't shine. It is not that fire. When you, in your gurukulam, when homa is done and all that, you have seen how the fire is shining, correct? How the fire shines. It has so many tongues and it shines brilliantly. It shines. So he says the brilliance in agni, the brilliance in fire is nothing but me. And then he says, Jivanam sarva-bhūteṣhu. I am the life principle in all the living beings. What is the meaning of life principle? Today, we all are alive, isn't it? We are all alive. So many animals are there, live, living beings. All those beings, plants, animals, insects, human beings. If there are any other living beings anywhere else, we don't know. All these living beings are having what? They are living because of what? There is something called as life in them. Correct? There is a life principle in them. That is why what do we say? We are alive, we say. Right? So what is that life principle? Krishna calls it here Jivanam sarva-bhūteṣhu. Jivanam means what? I am that life in all living beings. A rock does not have any life in it, correct? Does the rock have life? No. Does this table have any life? No. Correct? But then living beings have got life. Non-living beings do not have any life in them. So Krishna says, in all the living beings, I am the principle of life. And tapaschasmi tapasvishu. He says, I am the very discipline in all the people who are doing tapas. You know how disciplined one must be to do the tapas? Correct? What is tapas? Either you are sitting and meditating for a long period of time, or you are following very strict disciplines in the form of fasting. Okay? In the form of so many ways you do tapas. You have heard of tapas? Tapas means what? All kind of penance people do with lot of discipline. Correct? All kinds of penance we do. Important one tapas. I will climb up the stairs and walk to Tirupati, they'll say. Correct? You go to Tirupati and you say, I don't want to go by car till the top. I want to climb up, to Tirumala. What is that? It is a kind of a tapas. Correct? These are all called as what? These are all called as tapas. Some kind of a discipline, some kind of a penance you are doing. What for? Out of love for God. Out of love for God. You want to go to a pilgrimage. You travel so much. You walk so much. There are pilgrimages where you have to walk. There is no way you can go. Have you heard of Kailash? Kailash mountain? Kailash? You have heard of that? You have to walk. Miles together you have to walk. Okay, Kedar. You have heard of Badrinath, Kedarnath? Have you heard of these places? There also kilometers together you have to walk. What is that? It is a type of penance. It's a type of discipline which we call as tapas. So Krishna says that, who am I? I am that capacity for doing tapas in a person who's doing the tapas. Tapaschasmi tapasvishu. Then we'll go to the 11th verse now straight away, where Lord Krishna says, Balam balavatam chaham kāma-rāga-vivarjitam dharma viruddho bhūteṣhu kāmosmi bharatarshava. He says, hey Arjuna, see, you are considered to be the most balavan. You are considered to be the most, valorous prince. Seems Arjuna was called by Indra to help him in fighting the war against the demons, against the asuras. Just imagine the strength of Arjuna. Just imagine the balam of Arjuna. Correct? Arjuna helped Lord Indra. Arjuna helped the devas in fighting a war against the rakshasas. And what did he do? Arjuna fought with Lord Shiva, defeated Lord Shiva, and got that Pashupatastra which I had talked about earlier. Correct? So just imagine the strength of Arjuna. Right? So where did this strength come from? It comes from me, Bhagwan says. So Arjuna, don't feel very proud. Don't feel arrogant that you are a very, very courageous and a very, very valorous prince. All your balam, all your courage, everything is coming from me. Okay? So if one of you is very strong, some of you may be doing some weightlifting, kushti, gishti and all you must be playing. Very, very strong you are. Some of you, I'm sure. Where does the strength come from? It comes from Bhagwan. Okay? Where does the strength come from? It comes from Bhagwan. So what he's saying is, all that strength in all the bold people and strong people, that is given by me. Then he says, Dharma aviruddhaha kamaha asmi. All of us are living beings, right? And we have desires to achieve certain things, don't we? Correct? So you have a desire to be a good educated person, get a good job, and give your parents a lot of pride and happiness. Correct? So all these desires that are there, we all have our desires, no? I should do this, I should do that, I should become this, I should become that. And Lord Krishna says, any desire which is a legitimate desire, any desire which is dharmic desire, not adharma. If I have a desire to, hurt somebody, then that is not a dharmic desire. Correct? I want to say, okay, every time, okay, that other team is doing better than me. Okay? Always that team only is winning. Our team is not willing. So tomorrow I will do something that team, that leader of that team will not be able to come and play. Now there is a desire in you to win, but it is not a dharmic desire, because you want to harm somebody and at their cost you want to win your match, your football match, correct? That is not the thing. You want to win the match, that desire is very, very valid. That desire comes from God. But then that desire should be how? I will practice, I will do well, I will play well and win the match. This is a dharmic desire. And God is always there behind this dharmic desire. So Krishna says, I am the one who is behind all the dharmic, means desires which are backed by dharma. I am not going to support any desire backed by adharma. I want to become rich, so I will cheat somebody. I will rob somebody. That is a desire which is adharmic desire. I want to earn a lot of money, but I will become, I will continue my education. I will work hard. I will join a good place and I will earn a lot of money. This is what? A dharmic desire. Nothing wrong in that. Okay. So what Lord Krishna says is, when you have a dharmic desire. That means a desire to do something without harming others. I am that dharmic desire in every living being. Like this, Lord Krishna says that whatever is there in anything in this world, it is given by me. Okay? Because I am the very cause of the whole world. I am the material, I am the maker. Therefore, whatever is there is nothing but me. Nothing belongs to us, children. Everything is given by God. If we have any talents in us, it is given by God. We have to be thankful to God every day. If one of you is a very good cricketer, you have to thank God every day. Hey God, oh Lord, you have given me this capacity to be a good cricketer. If one of you is always standing first in the class, very intelligent, that intelligence is God's gift. So you have to thank God every day that you have given me this intelligence to stand first in the class every day. Somebody is a good singer among you, and Swami asks you every time to sing in all the functions. That capacity of your voice, your singing, everything belongs to God. Therefore, Krishna says, I am everything. Whatever is there is given by me. Om Shanti Shanti Shanti.